Wow, I really hated editing this episode. This episode's about Istanbul, where I stayed for just 4 days, but because I was there for such a short time, I didn't want to waste a couple hours recording, so I put it off until my next city, which unfortunately happened to be Bangalore in India, where I stayed in an Airbnb with thin walls next to a busy street. Just had constant honking bikes and cars. There were also cats fucking next to the window at night, but that's not relevant to the recording. Joining me for this episode is Julia, my friend who was also on the Sweden episode. She called in with her phone, so her recording also sounds like ass. This episode sounds like shit. I'm sorry. I did the best I could, but it's bad. But the podcast is called Bad Travel Podcast, so what do you expect? That's why I named it that, so I could have episodes that sound fucking terrible. Enjoy. Holy shit.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you punching the phone or something? What are you doing? Are you fucking dropping it and kicking it against the wall? What is all this noise?
I'm not doing anything with the phone. I'm sitting in my living room. I told
Are there bombs
everyone
going
to,
off in the living room? Where are you?
No.
A war zone? It just sounds like you're throwing the phone up in the air and then catching it with your feet.
I'm a guest on your podcast. You need to treat me better.
I brought you on so that you would flatter me and make me feel good. and you're really dropping the ball. And you're really dropping the phone onto your feet and kicking it against the wall.
Mm-hmm. Might do that during the podcast a few times.
You told people to stay out of the living room?
Yeah, my little brother.
Wow, this is a big deal now.
My little brother was gonna sit here and chill for a couple of minutes before he went to his computer, but I was like, "Go to your computer now." It's a big deal.
That's a huge punishment for a young man, to be told to go onto the computer. My mom never did that to me.
Yeah, well, I'm not his mom.
Well,
so.
You're a kind of mom who happens to be a sister.
I'm a mom to everyone. Every single person I meet, I become their mother instantly.
You're a sister mom.
That's right.
You're like an unmarried sister wife.
I'm a wife mother.
What's that one thing? Whore Madonna? That sounds pretty cool, right?
I don't think it's one thing. I think you're supposed to be like one of those things.
Oh, really? You can't do both?
Yeah, it's a dichotomy about like how society views women. It's not supposed to be like, oh, I'm the whore Madonna. You're one of those things. Can't be both. You're either.
In my opinion, and I'm a male feminist and I'm an ally, I think maybe women should be both. So I guess I guess, if you want to call me a hero, if you want to say that makes me a good person.
I do not want to call you that. I'm fine not calling you that.
That's okay. In male society, we have the same thing. It's called the hero-ally complex. And you can either be a hero or an ally. And I choose both.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of a dichotomy. You can't be both.
Who's a cop is a hero, but a firefighter is an ally.
Neither of those are true.
You think firefighters are heroes? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe. If they save cats and stuff.
I would respect them if they only saved cats and had nothing to do with fires.
It's weird that they're called firefighters if they do a bunch of stuff that are not related to fires at all.
All the shit that's not related to fires is cooler. Turning on the fire hydrant to wet down kids in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
That classic trope. Hey, you kids hot?
Yeah.
You want me to open up this water main? spray you with it.
That's an insane waste of water, by the
Well,
way.
that's why they're allies.
And not
Yeah, they
heroes.
would tear down the system just to get some kids wet.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't like the sentence "get kids wet." I would wish that you would not use that sentence.
well, you're sounding like a cop right now because if a cop saw some kids opening a water line, he would shoot them to protect society. He would say, "This is destroying
Yeah.
society. I have to kill these kids."
Mm. Mm.
Does that make sense?
It's true. It makes perfect sense to me right now. If you don't ask any follow up questions.
Oh, I will.
But you're not in Turkey right now. Where are you?
Okay, I'm in Bangalore, but we have to talk about Turkey because
Yeah, I realize that you have. I realize maybe I'm just curious about where you are right now. I understand that we're in a parallel universe where you're still in Turkey and everything that matters is just Turkey. But maybe I wanna ask you one question that's not related to this particular podcast, which is where are you right now?
I am in Bangalore.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay,
Oh,
good.
that's all you
Moving
wanted? You
on.
didn't want? I could go on. No, I can't actually. I don't. I don't know anything more specific than that. I'm somewhere in Bangalore.
Yeah.
I'm across from an ice cream shop and next to a cake shop.
What country is Bangalore?
I'm in India.
Oh,
Yeah, like
cool.
sort of in the more southern part, but not in the far south.
Mhm. I see.
Yeah,
Let's just set out to do what we came here to do, which is just talk about Turkey, my homeland.
that's right. Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you because I don't know. I figured you would know, right?
I don't know anything about the places you went in Istanbul. I've only been there once. I don't remember much about it.
But
But
you've been to Turkey
uh,
many times, right?
yes,
Where do you go when you're in Turkey?
I go to Antalya, Alanya,
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said
Ankara.
where do you go, because I don't know what any of that is. Is that
Okay.
like in the western part of Turkey?
Well, I just said several different places. I'm not good at Turkish geography. Please do not ask me about Turkish geography. I just go to the places where I have relatives.
Okay, but is it more rural or are those also cities that you're talking about?
No, cities. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not rural.
All right. Not that I'm not trying to be insulting. If it was rural, that would be fine too.
You're being really racist right now, but it's fine. I mentally prepared myself for
Well,
this before coming on,
you know how I am.
and I knew it was going to be about Turkey, so I'm prepared.
I'm gonna say a lot of stupid shit.
I'm ready to just let it just let it wash away.
Wash away.
It's water under it's water under the bridge. It's washing away right now. It's just washing over me. It's washing over the bridge.
Are you the bridge? What are you saying? It's flooding? Are you under the bridge or on top of the bridge? How's the water washing over you? Why are you not on the bridge? Why don't
I
you
would
get to dry
I
land? That's what I'm wondering.
I would prefer not to talk about
Let's
the bridge
explore this
anymore.
metaphor. No, fuck
Um,
Turkey. We're gonna go deep in this metaphor.
it's water flowing, and it's flowing with the bridge.
Racism is water, and as we all know, water is essential for life. So what you're saying is racism is essential for life, which I disagree with, and makes me again the ally, and you are the racist. So it's kind of funny how that worked out.
This is already so confusing. I'm gonna have to go and put on coffee if it's gonna be like this for like the next hour of you just saying things that makes
Yeah,
absolutely
I'm
no
just gonna
sense
be
to me whatsoever.
antagonizing you. I have like a document of like CIA psyop shit, and I'm just gonna be saying random like strings of words until you get like really disoriented and start throwing up.
I already feel like I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown.
Cool. Well, then I think we're ready to record.
Yeah, good.
Um,
Amazing.
you haven't been to Istanbul much,
Yeah, I've been there once.
and I was only in Istanbul for like 4 days.
Which is ridiculous that you would go to a bunch of stupid places for several weeks, like Sweden, but only be 4 days in Istanbul.
I felt that way after I was in Istanbul for like an hour walking around. And I was like, oh, I made a huge mistake. I really fucked up. I should have booked a week there, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'll
I
agree
guess I
with
just didn't
you.
expect it to be so. This is stupid, but like when I first got there, because my hotel was like in the quote unquote old town, like the historical whatever part of the city. And then when I went on this cruise later on, the Bosphorus cruise, is that how it's pronounced?
I have no idea.
Okay. You have to know everything. When I went on the cruise and I was like looking out on the shore and we were like going up from the city, it just seemed like, oh shit, every part of Turkey that we were passing up and down looked really different. And I wanted to check out all those places, but obviously I didn't have time. Like there were cool river
Yeah,
towns and I don't even know if it's a river, channel, cool channel towns.
yeah,
Is Istanbul like pretty different from the other like cities
yeah.
in Turkey? It is.
I mean, the way I remember it, again, I was pretty little when I went there, but I remember it as just being a lot of historical stuff everywhere and being like very vibrant in a way that's like almost overstimulating, just like things happening
Hmm.
everywhere. But it's also like this historical place of East meets West, I guess. Just like churches that have become mosques, just things that are remnants from different empires and stuff. That's how I remember it. I mean, the rest of Turkey's not as much like that.
I mean, so what's the rest of Turkey like?
Well, I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, you can generalize a little bit. I'm not going to be able to be like, no, that's fucking wrong.
Yeah, our listeners are gonna start sending me death
No,
threats.
no,
Like, why is this dumb girl talking about Turkey who doesn't know
they all live in
anything?
Michigan. They haven't seen anything besides a Wendy's. Just generalize. Come on.
I mean, I usually only go to Turkey for short periods of time during the summer or like during school breaks growing up. It's just warm. There's a lot of nice nature, nice beaches, um, good food. It's just I don't know. It's just I guess the places where my relatives stay is just like kind of regular tourist places. There are a lot of hotels and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's not like, I don't really go and visit the places, the rural places where my family grew up.
The other cities besides Istanbul, are they like, I don't know, are they chill? Is that an appropriate word? Can I say that?
I
Because you
mean,
said Istanbul is like
no.
hectic.
Those, like, all of the bigger cities are obviously hectic. Istanbul is just a different, I don't really know how to explain it.
It's a whole different can of worms.
It's a whole different can of whatever, yeah.
Worms.
Okay,
I mean, we don't have to agree. I'm just telling you how it is.
that's your opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, not to brag, but I've spent 4 whole days in Istanbul, and you only were there one day, so I think I know what is and isn't a can
Yeah,
of worms. I'm
sure.
kind of like an old, seasoned veteran of Istanbul, and whereas you're
Yeah.
just some person who, whatever, has ties to Turkey, means
Mm.
nothing to
Well,
me.
that's really what it is. It's really what it is. I mean, if you're like, if anyone were to ask me questions about Turkey's historical sites or the history or like all like details about the geography, I don't know shit about that. I just have family there and I go and I visit them, and it's just like I've never really been that interested in my surroundings, which you are aware. I don't
Yeah,
know much about Sweden either.
yeah, that's right. You're a very incurious person. And
Yeah,
even
that's what
when we were
it is.
hanging out, you hardly asked me anything about myself, and you were constantly like
Yeah,
walking into shit because you don't pay attention.
yeah,
On the plus side, I know so little about Turkey that I can't even ask you. Like I don't even know what the fuck I would ask you. Do you know what I mean? I have no questions about
yeah.
history or. I mean, I went to like the
Right.
palaces and stuff, but I don't have any questions about them. I went to a place called the Blue Mosque. I guess I could ask, why is
Yeah.
it blue?
I would tell you that I don't know why it is
It's
blue.
just one of those mysteries
Um,
that no one knows the answer
it's
to,
just yeah,
unless you
kind of
use
like the
Google, I guess.
pyramids of Egypt.
Right. Well, no, we know that's aliens.
Why are they shaped that way? Why are there pyramids?
I mean, like, they could do like an octagon, but it'd take too fucking long.
Is that the reason?
That is the reason. Yes.
Okay. So was that? Did you just walk around and see the different like historical sites, or what did you do when you were in Istanbul?
I mean, I kind of just did the same thing I do everywhere, which is I go to like the top 10 or whatever historical sites that are like within walking distance of the hotel or the Airbnb or wherever I stay, the hostel. I usually get that shit out of the way in the first day or two, and then the rest of the time I'm kind of just going places to eat. I didn't have enough time, like, in Turkey to do the thing I wanted to do, and the thing that always interests me, which is kind of like getting out of the city and doing something cool in the countryside or some kind of, I don't know, quote unquote adventure. You know, the
Yeah.
kind of thing that a person on Tinder would call an adventure? That. I didn't do any kind of
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah, but why travel to Istanbul in that case? You could have just traveled to any other place in Turkey.
It's the big city. It's the one, I guess, recognized around the world as being. It's like a world city, right? I mean, a lot of tourists go there. I
Yeah.
mean, and not that I'm a person that has to go to places that only tourists like, but in my head, if there's a place that a lot of, it's like one of the top tourist destinations in the world, even without doing any research, I think stupidly, like, well, there must be a reason people go there. It must be interesting or something. And also, I didn't
Yeah.
know a whole lot about Turkey, so if I had been there for like,
That's true. You did not know a lot about
and I
Turkey.
still don't.
You did not. You did not know it wasn't in the European Union, for instance, which is a very key thing in Turkish politics.
I don't know. Look, you can't grill me about the fucking European Union. I don't know any. I mean, I don't even know about the World Cup. What is that? Is that part of the European Union? What's Eurovision? Is that part of the European Union? You know what I mean? So don't
Eurovision.
Eurovision.
You're pronouncing it really weirdly.
It's all a mystery to me.
It's kind of strange that you're comparing the football tournament with the European Union, but it's water flowing with the bridge.
With the bridge? Do you want to talk about the European Union? Do you want to tell me why it's an issue that Turkey isn't in the European Union?
I really do not wish to do that.
Okay,
Unless
well
you
then,
really,
don't
really
then
want
don't
me
use
to.
it as a weapon to grill me with. Come on.
I'm
We're
just,
supposed to be
I'm
building
just,
an international connection here, you know, making peace between our people is kind of the whole mission of
I was,
this
I was agreeing
podcast.
with you. You said you didn't know anything about Turkey, and I was giving you an
Oh,
example of you not knowing anything about
well, you
Turkey.
can't.
So really, I was just supporting you in your own statements.
You're being an ally, and I respect that.
Yeah, and I'm getting shit for it, but that's all part of being an ally.
What did you ask? Didn't you ask me something, or didn't I ask you something?
I don't remember. I do
Well,
not
why
remember
did we
at
get
all.
sidetracked? What were we talking about?
We got sidetracked because we have no idea what we're talking about. You're talking about a country that I know nothing about. I'm talking about a country you were in for 4 days, and we're trying to give advice to
No, no,
people
no, no,
going
no, no,
there.
no.
And
It's not about giving advice. That's never what this has been about.
that's always what I want to do. Is I feel like I know a lot about the world, and I know a lot about life. I've lived a rich, full life, and I want to give some unsolicited
You're
advice.
like 23. You were just born, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have anything to give.
I was born 23 years ago, so.
What has happened in the past 23 years? Nothing. Name one thing. You can't. Wait, didn't I asked you for like advice before I came to Turkey, right?
Yeah, but every time I've given you advice on something, you totally ignore me and
No, no, no.
just do whatever your heart sets out
It's
to
not that
do.
I ignore you, it's that I forgot because even just now I said you gave me advice, right? Because I can't remember. I'm not good at
Yeah, because you never listen. It's not that I gave you advice and you listened and you wrote it down in your notebook to use later and you forgot about it. It's just that you didn't listen to begin with.
Okay, well, let's say that you were giving somebody advice before they went to Turkey, and let's say that person was me, and let's say that happened. What kind of advice would you or did you hypothetically give me? before I went to Turkey.
I don't remember the advice that I gave you, and
Well,
I
just
don't
like
know anything
just
about
in
them.
general, just general Turkey shit.
Well, it's a huge country. That's like asking you to give me general advice about
I
America.
would have so much to say. We could talk for hours about general advice about America.
What would your general advice on America be?
We shouldn't get sidetracked into all that. That's a whole nother.
No, see, because it's
That's a whole nother
impossible.
bag. That's a whole nother bag
That's
of
a dumb
worms.
question to ask, Derek. You should have thought through these questions more.
How is it a dumb question? I don't know anything about Turkey. You've been there sometimes. I just thought, if anything came to mind, you could tell me.
But you have to ask me something specific. Like, I can't give general advice. That depends on what you want to do, or like in what
Okay,
sense,
so
what context.
like a lot of what I like to do is eat. What kind of stuff do you like to eat? That's Turkish.
I like to eat içli köfte. That's like köfte is like Turkish meatballs.
Mm.
So that's just like fried Turkish meatballs, like spicy sort of meat in a fried shell, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like to eat mantı. Those are like the meat-filled dumplings in sauce, tomato sauce, and you eat it with yogurt.
I didn't have either one of those things, but they sound really good.
Those are the specific things I told you to try when you were there. God, you're really pissing me off right now.
Well, you didn't
What
you
did you have?
didn't you
What
tell me
food did
Swedish
you?
didn't you tell me Swedish meatballs came from Turkey or something like that?
No, I said there was like this controversy on Twitter, I think, because like a Swedish history account or something tweeted out that Swedish meatballs come from Turkey, which I think there was a Swedish king at some point who went to Istanbul and brought home a bunch of influences from Turkey. And a lot of people became upset and they said that it was an oversimplification to say that one of the most noble and important part of Swedish history is like Turkish.
My theory is that I ate meatballs when I was in Sweden. Ergo, I didn't have to eat
No.
meatball.
Oh,
Yes.
I already know what you're gonna
Yes.
say, and it's
Well, I didn't have to eat meatballs in Turkey because I already had Turkish meatballs in Sweden. They're called Swedish meatballs.
honestly, I'm like covered in sweat right now. Everything about this experience of being on this podcast for what, like 10 minutes has been
How's it
so
feel? How's it
stressful.
feel being gaslighted?
It feels awful. I hate it.
Step into the gaslight.
Excuse me?
That could be a cool motto for the podcast.
Okay.
Step into
That's
the
your
gaslight.
podcast. Do whatever dumb things you want to do with your podcast.
It's not dumb.
I'm just a guest. You can have your dumb slogans and torture your listeners with extremely dumb questions and extremely dumb travel advice, but that's your business.
Julia. Step out of the night and into the gaslight.
I'm trying to take some deep breaths.
Can I ask you? This is another thing that you're not going to give me any insight on, but like, what's the deal with. When I started off with what's the deal, it sounds like it's going to be really judgmental, but it's not. What's the deal with the Turkish like candy shops, like with all the sweets?
Excuse me?
Or
What is
would you call them like a Turkish bakery?
I don't exactly know what you're referring to. Are you referring to the places that are actually like bakeries with like
Um,
pastries?
the places that have all the like beautiful looking little sweets, like they're always
You mean
called
the
like Turkish delight.
Turkish delight? Yeah.
That's what they say on the sign.
Yeah, it is. Lokum is the Turkish word for it.
Okay, so is that closer to a candy shop or a bakery?
Well, I don't know. I feel like you're sort of trying to categorize everything through your own Western lens right
I'm
now.
no. Oh my God, I would never.
You're being an Orientalist. Maybe it's just a new kind of thing that you've never seen before.
I just feel like when I said the Turkish candy shop, it's insane to me that you would pretend you don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I didn't know. There are actual candy shops in Turkey, and I never know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I feel like if you were to say the candy shops that sell like different kinds of Turkish delight, that would be a more
Well,
reasonable
I
thing
don't
to
know
say.
I don't know what is a Turkish delight. It's just like a sweet, right? It's a candy. I guess that was going to be my question is what's the deal with it? Can you tell me about it? Cuz I went into those places cuz they're everywhere and they always look really inviting cuz they're so colorful and bright,
Yeah.
but I never got anything from them because it was like they confused me because the prices on them always seemed like they were really high, and people were
What?
like, well, people would go into those shops and they would walk out with like huge boxes full of shit that cost like
Yeah.
over 100 lira,
That's weird. You
and
must have gone to really expensive places.
I just wanted
You
the
must have gone to the real where the rich Istanbul elite go to buy their Turkish delight. I mean, if you're asking me how they're made, like the process behind how to make Turkish delight, then you will be very disappointed
That's
because I
not
have
what
no
I'm
idea.
doing. That's not what I'm doing. Well, I guess
It,
what I'm
it,
doing.
it kind of sounds like
No,
you're
no, no, no,
trying to
no.
get me to give you a recipe on how to make Turkish
Absolutely not.
delight.
I don't want to make it. I want you to make it and you to send it to me. No, what
Um,
I'm asking is, what are they made out of?
I don't know. They're like different flavored kind of
I saw a lot of
squares of jelly. I don't like them.
they're
I've never
squares,
really
they're
looked.
jellies. Some of them are covered in green dust.
It's like powdered sugar.
It's green.
No, it isn't.
Oh, I saw some green stuff. Okay, so don't tell me that I didn't see some green stuff in these places.
What is this? Is this whole podcast just gonna be a thing? Like clearly made up things that you're telling
It's
me you
not
saw in
fucking made
Turkey and
up.
asking me if.
No, I went into a lot of the shops. They had
Did you see any vampires
cakes.
when you were in Turkey? Do you want to ask me about the demons that you saw when you were walking around the streets of Istanbul?
Oh, we didn't. I didn't know we were gonna get to the demons. Great. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh, you're being so racist right now, honestly.
No, you know who the real demons are? Westerners, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. Lots of Westerners in Istanbul, I can imagine.
not really. I didn't see or hear a lot of Westerners. I saw some like Europeans, but they were speaking, one of their European elf languages. So,
I guess because of the political unrest, English speaking countries, the Anglo Saxons, have decided to leave Turkey alone, and I could be more grateful.
wow. Also, I think I might have went during like a low season for tourists or something too.
You went during the summer break, didn't you?
I mean, yeah, like July.
Was the weather very hot when you were there? I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
that should be a
it was fucking hot as hell. Like it was between like noon and 3. I had to like seek shelter in like a coffee shop or something because
Okay,
I
well, I
couldn't
don't
just
see
stay in
why
my
that would be a
hotel.
low
Did I
season.
tell you about my hotel?
You only sent me like which hotel it was, and I checked it, and it was like a 1-star hotel, which
Yeah.
in Turkey is usually. I mean, I assume you were sleeping in a closet with rats or something.
Like the building is so small. It only has two two rooms per floor, and I guess it goes up like 4 or 5 floors. I had to go up 3 floors, and then my room is like the size of yeah, kind of like the size of a closet. I had the smallest bed I had ever seen. Like when I would lay flat on the bed, both of my arms would just be hanging off. It was yeah, kind of like a massage table, and probably like less comfortable. And then
Hmm,
also
sounds amazing.
my room smelled like cigarettes, and somehow it smelled like the sewer, even though like I said, I was pretty far from the ground. So that was kind of impressive. They had some kind of sewage smell transportation system, I guess, installed so that my room could smell like the sewer. I thought that was cool.
You got the full experience,
I
the full
mean,
Istanbul experience.
it was also like $13 a night, so you get what you pay for.
I mean, I feel like that's not super cheap for such a shitty hotel in Turkey, but I guess Istanbul is special.
I mean, it was in a good neighborhood. I mean, that's why I picked it, is because I could walk. Like, the Blue Mosque was like a 5-minute walk away. It was next to all the
Yeah,
monuments and stuff, and then if I wanted to like walk down to the bridge and where all the like ferries are, that'd be like, yeah, 5 minutes.
sounds like a great hotel. I mean, you could have probably just stayed with. You could have just asked some old couple on the street to stay with them, and it would have been better.
I don't want to go swinging with some old poly couple. Why is that always your suggestion? Derek, every time you get in a new city, you just find some old couple that want to fuck a young man. No, I'm not interested. I'm saving
You could
myself for the
probably
right old couple.
You would probably have a real bed, and you would not be paying $13 per night for it. But whatever.
I'm sorry, is $13 a night too much for you? I remember us
I
being
don't
in
know.
Sweden and like we would get an espresso and it would be $13 or some shit.
But that's Sweden. That's
We
Stockholm.
would get a cinnamon roll and it would be $28.
Mm-hmm.
Also in Sweden, every time I paid with my card, they would like fucking make me write my signature and then they would compare it to the signature on my card and they'd be like, this isn't the right signature.
Every time you paid with your card, 2 police officers would jump out and arrest you.
Go on. And then what did they do to me?
That was it. I put a dot on that sentence.
Okay, well, next time you end a sentence, you have to say end of sentence. You just leave
I
me
will
hanging.
do that.
Don't do
And
it.
you're gonna be super annoyed.
No, I don't want to open up I don't want to open a new can of worms.
Yeah, I hate a can of worms.
Okay, one more question about what are those places called with the stuff?
Ugh.
I don't. Okay, how the fuck can I even ask about what they're called because you yelled at me when I called them candy? What? But
Turkish delight in English, and in Turkish it's lokum.
locum.
How is that so complicated? Oh, those those Turkish candies that are covered in.
I thought you were gonna yell at me because I got the pronunciation all weird.
I mean, it's less offensive than you like insisting on being like, those things. What are those things that I don't know what they're? It's called Turkish delight. It's not that complicated. It's delight that is Turkish.
It's weird to me to call something a delight. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it.
Well, that seems like a personal issue and not my problem.
It'd be like if I started a store and I called everything in the store goodies. And people said, "Oh, I don't like these goodies" or something. I don't know. It's too.
It's
like,
fine if you put
it
like,
has like a value judgment
nationality
on it
in
or
front of
something.
it. It's fine if you say like it's Italian goodies. That doesn't sound as bad as if you were to just call it goodies.
Well,
Like the nationality in front of it makes it okay.
Spoken like a true nationalist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Turkish goodies. Is there a Swedish connection there?
What kind of a question is that? No.
Maybe I'm blowing your mind. Because when we went to any grocery store in Sweden, they would have a huge section of candy. Or goodies, let's say. Swedish goodies. Is there some kind of connection, perhaps, between Turkish goodies and Swedish goodies in the grocery stores? Because I never saw anything like it. Every single grocery store in Sweden has a fucking huge candy section, goodie section. I mean, so
you're referring to
where did the goodies come from? You know, is that another thing that was maybe imported into Sweden from Turkey?
I mean, other countries have the same. It's like in England, I think they call it.
Not to the same extent.
They call it pick and mix. Like you just mix your own candy. Like you don't buy candy bags that are already.
Well, perhaps Turkey invented it and other countries have appropriated it.
It has nothing to do with Turkey. Not everything in Sweden comes from Turkey.
You come from Turkey.
That's right.
So.
But I was born here. So really, it's kind of offensive that you would bring that up.
Of Turkish sperm and eggs.
You're being disgusting right now.
Imported eggs and sperm. Or just one egg, I guess. I don't know how it works. Don't ask me. Don't slam the phone against the wall. Come on. What the fuck are you doing?
I didn't do anything. I slightly moved the phone because it was like I'm covered in sweat, so it was like sliding off my ear.
Why are you covered in sweat? Turn on the AC, fool.
There is no AC. This is Sweden. It's super hot, and there is no AC.
Well, it shouldn't be hot in Sweden.
I agree. It's very strange.
So, like, in Turkey, there's like the haggling thing. They try to get you to pay more and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I get it. I was in a tourist area and I'm a tourist and they want me to pay more. But is that like a normal thing in all of Turkey? Like when you're in those other areas, does
Yeah.
that's
I
still a
mean,
thing?
you went to Kapalı I assume that's where most of the haggling happened. So that's like a very typical tourist destination, I think. There will be a lot of different prices for tourists,
Right.
but
You told me like
then,
when you went with your family, like your dad would like go into a restaurant with you guys, and then you guys would be like, "Fuck this, we're leaving" or something, and then they would, because they heard you speaking in Turkish or something, they would bring you a different menu. Is that right?
you're telling the story so poorly.
You tell the story as if I hadn't said anything. Then.
Well, I guess it's like I don't know how common that is, but yeah, sometimes if we go someplace and we're speaking in Swedish, so they assume we're tourists, and we start complaining about how expensive it is, and we start to get up like we're leaving, they'll hand us another menu that's like for regular Turks, that's like cheaper.
Are Turkish people haggling with each other that way too, or is it just like solely
Yes.
directed towards tourists?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, if you go to bazaars in other places in Turkey where it's usually just Turks in that area going and shopping for vegetables that Turkish farmers have grown on their own land and stuff, they're not going through any middlemen, so it's just like people selling what they've produced themselves. Obviously, there's going to be haggling.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just curious if it was just like part of the whole society, or if it was just something that sort of came with tourists, where they're like, we can just tell these people whatever the fuck, and they'll pay it. When I first got in, I came into the airport and I needed to get a SIM card because I'm like fucking, I'm helpless without the internet. I mean, I need it to like book rides and tell the hotel or whatever when I'm going to show up and look at a map and just everything. Like I need it. I'm a shitty traveler, so I need the internet. So I was trying to get a SIM card, and there were two places in the airport that supposedly sold SIM cards. And one guy was selling a SIM card for 200 lira, which is like 40 bucks.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I went to the other place and I was like, "Are you guys selling SIM cards?" And he was like, he kind of looked over at the other guy, and the other guy kind of looked at him and he was like, "No." But I had just seen somebody else buy a SIM card from him, so I think that look they exchanged was kind of like, "I already gave that guy a price, so don't fuck with it" or something. It was
Yeah.
this weird micro monopoly in the airport in Istanbul, and so that was shitty. And then I got into town, and I was like walking around to different places, and they kept giving me different prices. So I went to one place and it was like 125 lira, 90 lira, and then finally like I got to a place and it was like 85, and I was like, that's the lowest I've gotten so far. I'm just fucking exhausted. I'll just pay it, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was still too much because I was looking online, like, what's the actual price of this data sim that I'm buying? And it was like half that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna like I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I
No,
don't
no.
remember
And
paying that much.
I fucking, I hate haggling. I don't ever want to do it. Normally I just pay whatever they say. But the first guy that gave me a price, it was like 5 times as much as it should have been. And I was like, well, that's too much. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that. I'll feel like a dumbass. I mean, I won't even be able to, I was going to say I won't be able to respect myself, but that's already out the window.
I mean, haggling, it's sort of like it's an acquired talent. You sort of have to train. I was trained at a very young age.
How do you
Sort
do
of
it? Can
like,
you explain it to me?
well, it helps if you speak the same language. So you sort of you're like what? You sort of have to act shocked about like the price they're giving you. Like that's preposterous. And then and then you're like shaking your head. You're like slowly
God,
putting on your jacket.
what a show.
Yeah, and you're like, well, this is ridiculous. And then if you're there with someone else, you're like, we'll just go around to other places and look. And then you sort of start walking out, and they'll most of the time they'll stop you and be like, well, we can discuss the price. We can, and then it's sort of like you sort of do a lot of the same moves a couple of times
Oh
until
my
you
God.
you go down to a price that's fine. Sometimes another strategy that's like a bit riskier, it works more in bazaars, is that if you've like sort of haggled for a while but you're still not satisfied, you feel like you can still get the price a bit lower, you can sort of leave and then casually just walk past the place again. And after a while they'll be like, "Hey, you there. Let's let's talk. Hey, you there. I think we can lower the price a bit more."
Uh,
That's how it works.
that sounds so exhausting.
It's kind of fun when you get into it. They know they've asked for a ridiculous price.
But just the idea of getting into conflict with strangers about, I mean, we should be agreeing is how I feel. Like, I'm trying to give you money. Just let me do it. Don't be an
Yeah.
asshole. Come
But I
on.
mean, if you give out this sort of energy that you're being like desperate, I guess you were probably walking around that airport like really needing a SIM card and just being super desperate for a SIM card. They're like wolves. They can smell your desperation.
I mean, I definitely looked like shit. So when I got to the airport, I had a huge migraine and on the verge of throwing up, and I did eventually throw up. So I probably like looked pale or yellow, sweating, and I had fucking my huge backpack on. It's like, do you guys have a SIM? You guys have a SIM
Yeah,
card, please?
you look like a scared little bunny, and they were the hungry wolves.
Okay, that was a very Swedish thing of you to say.
I don't see how.
Too bad it
I
was. But
I feel like it's a normal thing to say, but whatever.
no, I was just gonna say you're probably also good at haggling because you have like the bougie accent, right?
That's true, yeah. I mean, I'm not good. I don't have the bougie accent in Turkish because I sound like a foreigner. My dad is much better at it because he sounds like a native Turk. So it's like, oh, we can't fool this guy. He knows all of our tricks. But I come there and I'm like, hello, hello, will you tell me this? Is my accent, sort of, I assume. And they're like, wow, this girl, we can really knock her on her head.
For a
And
Swedish person who doesn't really have a Swedish accent, you're really good at doing a Swedish accent.
that wasn't a Swedish accent. That was, it kind of turned into a Persian accent towards the end.
What the fuck was it supposed to be? It sounded like you were doing a Swedish accent.
I was just trying to do like a very, unambiguous, just foreign accent.
No, well, you fucked up. You just did a Swedish accent.
No, it wasn't a Swedish
I
accent.
was in
It's
Sweden
not.
and I heard the Swedish accent, and that's what you just did.
You don't even know the difference between Swedish and Turkish. You couldn't tell the difference when I was speaking Turkish from when I was speaking
Okay,
Swedish.
let's do it again. Say something in Turkish to prove you're Turkish.
Okay, give me a sentence and I'll say it.
It's
And
so
and
stupid that I
either
have to give you a sentence. If you asked me to say a
it,
sentence in English, I could say it without you giving me a
all right,
sample
fine.
sentence.
All right, let me think of a sentence.
Okay. Well,
Um
this will take all night. That sentence that I just
uh
said in English, I just made it up off the top of my head. Even this one right
I
now. I'm
don't
not
know.
reading this off of a piece of
It's
paper.
really hard. Give me a sentence. Give me a sentence and I'll say it in one of the languages.
Okay. Hello, my name is Julia. I am a professional dog walker, and I love to bathe dogs as well as walk them.
That's too long. I'll just say the first thing. Well, that's gonna be easy because you know how to say hello.
My name is
I'll just say my
Julia,
name's
and I like to work on houses and paint cars.
um Benim adım Julia. That's the whole sentence. I'm not gonna say all of this stuff.
Couldn't remember it, huh? So that was Turkish.
Yes, obviously.
But say more.
And Swedish is
Say more stuff in Turkish. Snakes are dangerous. You shouldn't go where the snakes are.
yılanlar tehlikeli. Yılanların olduğu yerde.
See, that sounds cool.
No, I didn't finish the sentence. I I got confused. You have to I'm getting really self-conscious because I feel like Turkish people who know Turkish are gonna listen to this.
I'm okay. Say this. I'm getting really self-conscious because
Oh my god, stop it. I'm like sweating.
say I am Julia and I am sweating.
Please do not air this podcast. Let us just be this is just a Google hangout where we just talk to each other.
This is just a casual Google hang.
A very normal Google hangout between the two of us.
Now say something in Swedish.
Ormar är farliga och du borde ej gå dit. Ormar finns.
My name is Julia and I like drinking water. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
My name is Julia and it's all water under the bridge.
if you say so.
Well, I'm not the one that said it.
Oh, I just said another snake sentence.
Okay, cool.
I keep forgetting you don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what is he asking me?
Well, I
And
mean,
then I
the whole
realized-
point was that it's hard for me to tell the difference between Turkish and Swedish because I'm that shitty at recognizing languages. But it's not just Turkey and Swedish, it's also like German and Polish. Actually, the only language that to me that I've heard so far and wasn't like any others was Italian because it was like they have all their stupid Italian
Yeah.
words.
I mean, French is probably also really easy.
Yeah, because like the words are like really recognizable in and of themselves. Do you know something racist that I accidentally did?
Sure.
I was sitting at a restaurant eating, and the waiter came up near my table, and he said, like, I thought he said my friend, and I was like, yeah, what? And he was like, oh, is your name Imfram or something? And I was like, no, I thought you said my friend.
Was this in Turkey?
Yeah. He was talking to some guy named like Imfram or something. But I thought he was saying like my friend, you know.
Why would he say my friend? Why would he call you
I don't know. Isn't that something they do like in countries?
in foreign countries?
They say hello my friend, you know.
Yeah.
That's what made it racist is because nobody said that to me the entire time I was there, but I thought that guy said it to me for no reason.
You felt that because you're white and a Westerner. When you go there, everyone wants to be your friend.
Well,
And everyone
I mean, now
wants you to feel welcome.
You're just saying facts. I like turkey.
That's your own business. I don't care if you like turkey or not.
Wow.
That's not important to me.
Even as my friend, you can't just be happy for me.
I never said I was your friend.
I made that decision for you.
Well, you can make that decision for me. It's 2018 and women can decide for themselves.
Women have the right to choose who is their friend.
That's the legal act of 1928 is that women get to decide who is their friend and who is not their friend.
Ever since women got to decide who their friends are, society's really been going down the drain.
The nuclear family is dissolving.
Women got all these friends. You know how many friends guys have? Zero.
That's true. Guys actually do have less fulfilling relationships with their friends than women do. That's fact. That's research. Scientists themselves have said this.
Yeah, well, it's because, like, when girls have friends, they do, like, their fucking witch full moon parties and, like, spread peanut butter on each other and light candles and shit. Drink, like, goat blood. And guys, we just, we just have a couple J.O. buddies. We get together and we put a cover over our crotch and we all jack off together. Eat some chicken wings, call it a night.
Without washing your hands first?
We jack off on the chicken wings.
Oh, okay.
They're glazed.
Disgusting. Disgusting. How dare you?
I
Ugh.
and notice how you called the spermy chicken wings disgusting, and you didn't say one word about the goat's blood.
That's fine. What? How is it different than the bread pudding that Swedes eat that is pig's blood? How is that any different than women drinking goat's blood when they're doing parts of of rituals that are a part of their culture and their heritage?
You know what? You're right.
I'm always right.
I changed my mind about women. Now I like them.
What's your opinion on women now?
They're good. I posted a tweet last week when I was in Italy. There's this like pasta restaurant that I was going to go to because it has like really good reviews. Everywhere online, it's like this is the best pasta restaurant
Oh yeah, and it was like
in
all
Milan.
it was like all Mussolini memorabilia or something.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of like fascist, like actual fascist memorabilia and shit in the restaurant, and it's not just a theme. Like the owner of the restaurant walks around in a Mussolini T-shirt, and there's fascist quotes up, and it's fucking crazy.
What were the quotes?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I didn't go because after I saw that in the
Oh.
reviews, I was just like, oh, that's
Oh.
fucking
I thought
bizarre.
you actually went and you took those photos of the Mussolini
No,
there.
I just screen capped it from Google reviews.
Well, that's a bit
It's
kind of like you lied.
it's kind of disappointing cuz I mean, even the reviews, you know the place is good because even the reviews that were like, okay, this is a fascist place, don't support them. Even those reviews are
Yeah.
like the food is very good. Don't go because you'll support fascism, but it has very, very good pasta. That's what one of the reviews says.
Did you not consider going just
I
because
had a
everyone?
horrible like mental debate about like should I go there? It's really popular. What difference would one person make? But I just feel
But
like it would
how
have been
come
kind of
it's
weird.
so popular if everyone knows it's a fascist restaurant?
I guess they
Is it
just
just
have
like a
really good pasta.
is it like a funny thing at this point? Like everyone is ironically going to the fascist restaurant?
No, I think what it is it's really popular among like tourists and shit, and they probably just go there and they're like they see like the Italian flag and they see some guy and they're like, "Who's that? Oh, Mussolini? Who's that guy? All right, well whatever. Pasta tastes great." You know, like they don't think anything
Yeah.
about it. But I don't know. I just didn't want to go. It seemed like a weird. It would have a weird vibe. But after I posted like those screen caps of the Google reviews of the fascist pasta place, I had a bunch of like fucking like the frog, the Keck Pepe guys up in my Twitter, like adding me.
Really?
Yeah, and they're all like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Milan now. I'm gonna go to this restaurant and support them." And people are like having fucking fights in my mentions, like, "What? You're a pussy if you say that this guy shouldn't be able to have his restaurant or something."
That's
Like,
so cool. That guy who said he was gonna go to Milan to go to the fascist restaurant is so cool.
well, I mean, it's just like, no, you're not. You're not like you definitely get anxiety going to your community college web design class. You're not going to fucking Milan. There's no way. You have a
Yeah.
cartoon frog as your avatar. You fucking
Yeah.
dork. Oh, nice. I support fascism. No, you don't. If you went to Europe, you would fucking hate it. You don't. You have no idea. It just
That's
it
an
just
awful thing to
it just
say.
blew my mind because no, I mean not that Europe isn't like good and an interesting place to visit, but like the people that think they're fascists that live in the US would not fucking like Europe.
Why?
They would go there and they would be like, "Wait a minute, there's black people here?" Huh? They would, you know, and then they would go to the pasta place and they'd be like, "What? This isn't Wendy's. I can't get a fucking 4 for 4 combo here. This is bullshit."
Well, I've never been to Wendy's, so if you're trying to get me to chime in and be like, yeah, that's so true.
There's something about having a square hamburger patty that is inherently fascist. And
If you say
that's not
so.
my opinion. That's just them's the breaks, as we say in America.
Do you really say that? I feel like you made
I
that
mean,
up.
I've been saying it, and I think other people might start soon. Did you see this when you were in Istanbul? Did you ever go into the metro when you were there, like the underground?
Uh, no. Did
Okay.
you?
Yeah, I went into the underground, and they're all full of gun stores.
Really?
Yeah,
Gun stores.
they're just selling like pistols and shit. They have like it's just like a counter and a guy has a bunch of guns behind him. It's like Grand Theft Auto, and then you can just walk up and buy a gun like in the crowded metro.
Cool. Did you?
No, but I did see a white guy buying a gun.
Was he American?
Yeah. Because I walked past and he was like talking to the guy, and I was like, huh, that is just like a flat Midwestern accent.
Mm.
It was like a tech
And
bro. He had like a ergonomic backpack. I mean, I don't know if he was actually a tech bro, but he, had the look.
yeah,
Like a polo shirt, sensible slacks, ergonomic backpack. And he was like, I think I'd like to get some kind of pistol.
he's buying a pistol in the subway.
Yes.
Bizarre. No, I've never used the subway. It's really strange.
Bazaar. Hey, speaking of bazaar, how about the Grand Bazaar?
Yeah, how about it? Did you buy anything from there?
No. I mean, it's all like rugs and Turkish goodies and
What did you say no? Like it's the most like ridiculous question you've ever been asked in your life.
and
You can buy like a souvenir. There are plenty of stuff you can buy
well,
at the
I
bazaar.
haven't bought any souvenirs the entire time I've been traveling. I have too much shit to carry. When I have to like buy a new like bottle of shampoo, I have to like agonize over it because I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to carry around a bottle of shampoo now. This sucks.
But you could have bought like something to eat.
Okay,
I assume it.
I did stop and have like the Turkish tea when I was at the Grand Bazaar. In this like
Oh, the regular black tea that is served everywhere in Turkey.
okay, but on the menu it's called Turkish tea, so that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, it is Turkish tea, but it's not something
It's
that's
not
special for the
actually
bazaar.
it's not actually something different from normal black tea though. It tastes like Lipton Yellow Label black tea.
What? It is different. It's not. It's not Lipton, is it?
It just tastes like normal black tea to me. I don't know. I know they also have
Do
like
you drink? Do you drink a lot of black tea?
every day. No, I don't drink a lot of black tea.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell.
I mean, they also have like the apple tea, which seemed really popular.
Yeah, that's. I like it.
I like the little glasses they serve them in because it looks like a science glass.
A science glass.
Don't play dumb with me. It looks like a
A,
science
sci-
glass.
a science glass.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking science glass.
Is there not a better word
I'm
for the
I'm gonna
glass
I'm gonna
that's used
I'm
in
gonna
the
type
lab?
science glass into Google, and the fucking first result is gonna. Okay,
It's a beaker.
yes,
Beakers.
they kind of look like a beaker to me.
I didn't have to type it into Google. I just had it in my head.
Why did you act like I said something completely fucking insane if you instantly knew what I was talking about?
Because it's an insane thing to say, a science glass. First of all, you could never have a glass of water or drink something from a glass in the laboratory. It's dangerous and a contamination risk.
Well, look who's woman-splaining. Also, the Grand Bazaar was like really confusing. I got lost in there
I
for
don't
like an
remember
hour.
I don't remember much about it, but it's like shaped like a maze. It's like
Yeah, it's like a fucking labyrinth. It reminded me of
yeah,
like I don't know if you've ever played RPGs or something, but like in a video game where you just turn a corner, it looks like you entered the same room or something.
yeah.
It was like
And
playing Persona 4. Do you know what I mean?
no, I don't. I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
But it's a lot of different stores or setups that are selling the exact same thing,
It was like
like lamps. and rugs and decorations from of elephants and stuff.
People just go there to buy their rugs and such.
I really don't get that because it's like, isn't it mostly tourists who buys a rug and a lamp
That's the
when
thing
they're
is like
traveling?
even if you get a good deal on a rug, isn't it going to be like super fucking expensive to send this like 200-pound rug across the world?
I guess it's like for like white people who buy a vacation home and
I
want to decorate
guess.
their home with a bunch of super tacky stuff.
I mean, most of the tourists I saw there were Asian, so
No need to get racist.
if I could get racist for a moment,
Go ahead.
we were talking about earlier. We talked about food a little bit,
Yeah, so
and I
which
just
foods did you have when you were in Turkey?
okay. I'm probably not going to pronounce these correctly. Kebab, kebab. Is that how you pronounce it?
Kebab.
Okay, I was just goofing off.
But what kind of kebab did you have?
I had one where like the pieces of meat were wrapped in bread and baked,
Okay.
and it was really good. Oh, and the hummus there is like I was kind of surprised. It's like very thick, more I don't know, nutty or something. Not as like oily. Like all the other hummus I've ever had has been like just very oily and smooth, and all the hummus I had in Istanbul was like the texture of clay or something. It was like yeah, a lot nuttier maybe. It was good though.
Interesting.
Not as
Yeah,
sweet.
I like all kinds of hummus. But so the kebabs you had, did you have like more of like meatball kind of, did you have like the kebabs on a stick, or did you just have like doner kebab?
No, it was more like meatballs.
Good call.
I also had okay, I really don't know how to pronounce this one. Meze.
That's not too far off. It's
Uh
like little small portions of different kind of, I guess, condiments or what you want to call them.
Eat it with bread.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I like
delicious.
that.
And then I went to this place a couple times. It was like this ridiculously cheap self-service style restaurant where you just go in and they've got like a bunch of different dishes that they're all cooking and you just point to a couple and you can get like 4 or 5 things for basically $3. And those places were
Yeah,
totally packed with like locals, and I didn't see any other
yeah,
tourists in there. But the food was all really good, even though it was already like pre-made and super cheap. And I
yeah.
had
Those
like
are the kind of places I recommend that you should go to if you remember
okay,
when you were in Sweden.
well, so you get full credit for me enjoying those places, even though I don't remember that recommendation. You get full credit, I said. What do you want? I just fucking gave
You're
you full
saying it
credit.
with a certain. I don't like your tone.
Okay, well now you're
Well,
tone
go on.
policing.
What was the foods that you tried there?
Chicken and tomatoes and like a soup. They had like a salad that had like spicy chilies and cucumber and tomatoes. They had like moussaka. Do you know what that is?
Like eggplants.
Yeah, like eggplant and I think cheese.
I'm not a huge fan of eggplants, as you may remember.
No, I don't fucking remember that.
Were you not the person I ranted about eggplants to? Or maybe it wasn't you. Never mind.
Yeah, don't give me all this attitude about, oh, you don't remember my dumb eggplant thing.
I feel like I've been
Y-
talking about eggplants nonstop for the last couple of weeks, but never
Okay,
mind.
let's hear it then. What could you possibly have
No, I
against
don't want to talk.
eggplants? What?
I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. I don't like eggplants, okay? Just leave me be.
Okay,
Not
well,
everyone has to love eggplants.
did that take so long? All you did was say you don't like the two main things about the food. Okay, I accept you.
Okay, fine.
I thought you
Yeah,
had
let's
like
go
maybe
back.
some kind of weird traumatic story involving eggplants, but it was just like, no, I don't like them. Okay.
No, I
It
ate some eggplants. I didn't like it. I decided that I didn't like it. I tried to have it a couple of times and then I was like, this isn't working out.
this isn't working out. We have to go our separate ways.
Well, I didn't actually have that talk with the eggplants. I'm not nuts.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
Whatever. What else did you have in Turkey? Please.
So when I went on the ferry in the parking lot, there was this guy. He just had like a grill in the parking lot, and he was like making some kind of like wrap. And I didn't even see what he was putting on the wrap, but he was like, "You should buy this. It's really good." And I was like, "Okay." So
I can't believe the guy selling it said that to you.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "You should buy this. It's good." And it
Well, if
smelled
he's
like it was
recommending it.
good, so I bought it. And it was
Was it like spicy meat?
it was actually like fish.
Oh,
It was fish and tomatoes and like yeah, maybe a little bit of peppers. It was like $1, and it tasted pretty good, but the fish also tasted maybe like wasn't
fresh.
it wasn't at its best. I wasn't getting the
I
fish
see.
at the peak of its existence or something.
I see.
As I was chewing on it, I was like, this definitely is like more parasites than fish.
It had started to decompose. There were maggots and stuff
I was like,
in
at
it.
least I'm getting my protein.
You could feel the worms wiggle as you took your
Mmm.
bite.
Mmm. I'm all about that texture.
I can't believe a guy with a barbecue standing in the middle of the park telling you to buy something because it tastes good, sold you a wrap, and it wasn't amazing.
It was okay. I mean, the thing is, other people tried to get me to go in their restaurants, but they never said it was good. This guy, he figured out the formula. You just have to tell me it's good, and I'll be like, all right, well then I'll try it.
You're not fit to travel on your own. I'm getting increasingly worried as I'm listening you talk
I need to
about.
have I need to have a helmet and elbow pads and
Yeah,
all my money in a wallet that I hang around my neck.
just text me before you do anything, before you eat anything or go anywhere, and ask me if it's a good idea, and I'll tell you if it's a good idea, and give all your money to me, and I'll give you an allowance if I think it's a good idea that you go someplace.
You want to findom me.
Not sure what that is, but
You want to
yeah,
you want to financial dominatrix me.
sure. Give me your money, and I will be fair about how you spend it.
Okay, but you have to call me pay pig.
I already call you that.
Okay.
It's I already call you pig, so it's like just adding the pay.
Yeah. I also had like tons of Turkish coffee, which I really got into while I was there. I think I had like 3 cups every day.
A lot of people are like really anti Turkish coffee, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's sweet and like really rich and chocolatey and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I mean, it's sweet if you make it with sugar.
right, yeah. But every time they asked me, I was like, yeah, load it up. Give me the good shit.
I mean, I think a lot of people who have never had Turkish coffee think that they're supposed to like mix it and get all of the coffee that's like supposed to sink to the bottom. They sort of mix it and then they just sort
Right,
of.
and they just choke on all the coffee grounds.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm a genius because I read the Wikipedia article before I did that.
I'm so glad you did that because it
But
feels like when you said you were gonna try Turkish coffee, that was my immediate thought was that this is definitely something that Derek will do.
I had like 20 minutes of material about why do they make you drink the grounds? That's ridiculous. No, I like it because you sip it like over a really long period of time, so you can just order it and sit there with your coffee and drink it over like 20 minutes, and it gets stronger as you drink it because it's still brewing. It's still like sitting there
Yeah,
brewing. And okay, like I got some grounds in my teeth because I was still getting used to
you
knowing
were
when
a
to stop.
beginner.
Yeah,
You
I
were a
was a beginner,
beginner.
but by the end I was an expert. I guess that's the one thing like I learned and I grew as a person from in Turkey.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that it's not like riding a bicycle. If you come like 5 years from now to Turkey and you try to do it again, you're gonna have to relearn that process of how much coffee you're supposed to drink before sleeping.
No, I think I'm going to recreate that when I get back to Los Angeles, actually.
I've never made Turkish coffee. I don't know how it's made, but I know it's not supposed to be super hard. Oh yeah, I forgot you're like a coffee nerd.
Right. So I'm not joking around. I'm really going to recreate it when I get back home.
You should buy the like pretty cups.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's part of the whole experience, right? And I mean, not only that, but also I have like plans to recreate the coffee I had in Vietnam and the coffee I had in Malaysia and Greek coffee.
Is Greek coffee another rip-off of Turkish
No,
cuisine? Is it like...
it's totally different. It's different from any other kind of coffee I've had. It's really weird.
Ooh, now I really want to try it.
Is there anything we didn't talk about?
Well, I don't know. You were there for 4 days. What else did you do? Like, you mostly just went to the Blue Mosque. Did you go to Topkapı Saray?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Did you like the gold stuff? Everything being gold?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like it's like any other like historical, beautiful place. In a way that makes it sound like I don't give a shit.
How dare you?
No,
It's
look,
special.
listen. It's just beautiful places are all kind of the same in certain ways. They're nice, but I don't know.
You are really the worst person to travel the world.
Don't say it like I don't have an understanding about who I am.
When I went to Topkapı Saray, I was there with my cousin, and we went to the restaurant of the palace, and Eva Mendes was sitting there with like 3 different bodyguards, and my cousin freaked out and made me come with her to say hello to Eva Mendes, who was super annoyed because she was just trying to eat her really sad salad that had like no dressing on it. That's my
Well, maybe I would have liked it better if I had saw Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
Eating her shitty salad, and I could have bothered her and been beaten to a pulp by her 3 huge bodyguards.
That was the high point of my Istanbul trip, seeing Eva Mendes, who apparently was there to shoot a Magnum commercial or something.
The condom? No. The ice cream. Sorry, I forgot that's an ice cream in other places. I never saw that ice cream in America, okay? When I think Magnum, I think,
you guys don't have Magnum ice cream?
Maybe we do. I've just never seen it. It would have been cooler if she was shooting a condom commercial.
That would have been cool. It would have been like a bit taboo because she's in Turkey. She's like in the conservative country, and she's she's using a condom and just having sex on the street. And there are old Muslim ladies in hijabs just walking past and looking horrified. And that's the commercial.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Here, gals, try this one on for size," and she throws them a condom, and then they transform into like busty bikini babes.
Yeah,
they're all holding surfboards and shit.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah, I think we have a good pitch.
We're like the characters in Mad Men.
We're like Johnny Mad from Mad Men.
Yeah.
The main character, Johnny Mad.
And PD Men.
PD Men and Johnny Mad, and they're here to take on the world of advertising in Turkey, which is what the show is about. No, I don't know. I don't have anything else, I guess, to say about Istanbul. I liked it a lot. I guess I can say it had a really cool vibe, I thought. I mean, I don't know if that's like quantifiable in any way.
That's what I was trying to say earlier when I was like, it's really hectic. It's really blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, what is the difference between... That's the difference between Istanbul and other cities. It has a different vibe. That was what I was trying to say.
When you said hectic, to me that's kind of like a negative connotation. And when I was walking around Istanbul, like, yeah, there was a lot of movement, but to me it felt
I think
positive.
You were the one who used the word hectic.
Well,
so re-listen to the podcast.
There's no way to double check that. There's no way to confirm who said hectic first.
You have to edit out me speaking Turkish, or I'll have to kill myself.
Well, why are you ashamed of your Turkish?
Well, it's not really that I'm ashamed of it. It's that I fucked up all of the words when I was speaking Swedish and Turkish.
Okay, well
So
then
I
do it
sound
again.
retarded. Okay, but you have to give me a sentence.
Well, give me an example of a sentence to give you, because every time I give you a sentence, you say it's not good.
The carpet is very clean.
Okay, do that one.
Halı çok temiz.
I just tricked you into coming up with your own sentence.
I noticed that. But I realized that's better because your sentences are super long and I keep forgetting halfway through what I was supposed to say.
Okay, so say that in Turkish and then in Swedish.
Halı çok temiz. Mattan är jätteren.
Was that both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just one sentence.
Oh my god. You thought the whole thing was in Turkish?
It was either in Turkish or Swedish. I don't know.
Everyone can tell the difference between two
I was just
different languages.
I was in Turkey for half a week. I heard people speaking Turkish all around me, and
maybe they were speaking Chinese. There's no way for you to know.
You know what? That hurts.
Maybe everyone around you were speaking Swedish.
It's possible.
Maybe everyone around
maybe
you
I
when
didn't
you were in
even.
Sweden were
Maybe I
speaking
didn't
Turkish.
fucking. I probably didn't even really go to Istanbul. I was probably in Malmo or some shit.
It's just a bunch of black-haired, Arab-looking people speaking Swedish and trying to sell you a super expensive carpet.
I said I must be in fucking Turkey. And they said, "What do you mean? This is Amsterdam."
Goes to show you how far the Islamization process of Europe has gone.
Oh, the West is truly dying.
The West is collapsing.
Just as a final note here, this podcast supports the collapse of the West. So after the West collapses, you don't have to do anything bad to me or my podcast. We're allies.
And that's why you wanted me on the podcast, to prove to everyone that you have one POC friend.
You just admitted that we're friends. Wow, we grew so much over the course of this recording.
It is truly beautiful. It's like our journey documented over this past hour. Going from enemies to acquaintances.
Okay, you just downgraded it to acquaintances, but...
We went from nemesis to people who don't mind the fact that the other person exists.
I'll take it.
Good.
Well, thanks for talking to me again.
You're welcome, and please PayPal me for this.
Oh, what? You're breaking up.
What kind of pay do you offer the guests on this show?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio here. Are you speaking Turkish again? I just can't understand you. Or is it Swedish?
$20. It's not a lot.
20 lira?
$20.
20 lira? Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. I'll take 20 lira. That's fine. What's that? $10? It's fine.
I think that's enough to buy you one Turkish goodie.
I just realized you keep saying goodies because the Swedish word for candy is godis.
That's not why I'm saying it.
Why would you use the word goodies? There must be a reason that you keep using that word. It's a bit strange.
Because I was trying to illustrate why I didn't want to say delight, because it seemed like a weird word, because it's loaded with like a certain...
And yet you can say goodies about 500 times.
Because goodie, I'm pointing out to you that... First of all, I want to take a step back and say it's so funny to me that Swedish, the word is goodie. But no, because goodie is another word where it's like loaded with a positive connotation. And I was using that to contextualize for you how I feel about the word delight.
Okay, whatever. You're being hysterical.
Swedish people call it goodies.
Godis. Godis.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Godis.
Goodies.
That's funny.